Hey guys, welcome to the very first video back this year. I appreciate we didn't get much out in December, and of course this is the very first one. We're nearly at the end of January already. We've had an awful lot going on with the new YouTube channel and then trying to bring out more content, change kind of what we're doing. You might have noticed there's also a brand new sign right behind me. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. First of all though, the thing I wanted to talk about today is all about repeat customers for your line striping, line marking business, and why that's so important and how easy it actually is to get there. Now, you know, if you're looking at what it actually costs you to acquire a customer, if you're anything like me, I pay somewhere around the £15 per click, which is what, $17, $18 for every single click on one of our Google adverts. Now that Google advert, let's say I get, £15 I pay per click, and let's say I need 4 people to click to get one meeting. Sometimes I need 5 people to click to get a meeting. Depends on time of the month, the area, and the keywords that I'm going for. But arguably, it can easily cost me, £75, which is probably about $85, $90 just to get one meeting. And if you only win, let's say 20%, and you're spending, $80 per meeting, you have to do 5 meetings, $400 to actually get a sale through the door. If you win a 20% win rate, getting a new customer is really, really expensive. And so trying to get repeat purchases, although it may sound difficult, it's actually a lot easier. And I watched a video the other day. So I was on YouTube. There's another guy who does line marking. I was watching one of his videos, and he was talking about going back to a parking lot he'd done a year later, and he charged the customer a few $100s to go back, redo the parking lot. I thought that was really cool, but it kind of missed one of the key things for me. So the way that he approached it is he said, I phoned the customer up. It's December at this point. I phoned the customer up and said, hey, it's been a year since we did your parking lot lines. Let's come back out. We'll redo them back for you again. And he was saying, I made $400 or $500, whatever it was, to go out, redo it. And it took an hour or so. And I thought, okay, that's cool. But it misses, I think, a key, there's a couple of parts to this really, but a key opportunity is missing. The main problem I see with this is, you're like me. When your business is working great, everything, seems fine, but all of a sudden you can have an unexpected bill, like a piece of equipment breaks, a machine breaks down, a car breaks down, maybe things have changed in your home life, your personal life, whatever it may be. And all of a sudden, you may be planning on spending some money, and all of a sudden money's tight this month. That happens for everybody. We all get unexpected bills coming through, and it makes it really, really difficult. You can't plan for these things. They just happen. And so you need a contingency budget for that, for yourself maybe. But the reality is when you're running a business, these things can crop up. Now, this was close to Christmas. Chances are the customer, all right, they paid in this case, they had $500, whatever it was, set aside. They could repay for this parking lot to be done, which is great. But what if they didn't? And what if they couldn't pay that up front? How could you change that, make it easier for the customer? Because I think really that's the key thing, right? Is how can we make the purchase as easy and as frictionless as possible for the customer? Now, I know Amazon changed this by going to a one-click ordering, and that added like $300 million profit a year just by going to that one-click ordering. Huge, huge convenience thing, instead of having to go through 4 or 5 different screens to order. Now, although it may sound different, you can actually implement that in your line marking business. In fact, we do it here at linemark.com. And I just wanted to run through and give you some ideas on how perhaps you could implement that in your company. So in the scenario I just talked about, the chap had gone out, he'd spoken to the customer and said, hey, I'll redo your parking lot, $500, come out, redo it. The customer said, yep, great, come out and do it. But as I mentioned, that could be difficult for some people. What we want to do is kind of guarantee that's going to happen. But at the same time as guaranteeing those orders, we want to increase the value of your company. Now, if you just do one-off sales and you're looking for new customers constantly, and every time you sell, you make some money. If you're valuing that business, let's say you want to sell it someday, or somebody wants to buy you, it's going to have quite a low value because you're always reliant on people coming in to the top of the funnel, buying from you, and then they kind of exit from there. What we really want to do is add another step to it, and that for me is either referrals that we're getting from them or repeat sales. Now, in this one, we're going to focus on repeat sales, and the way I would do it, we set out a monthly retainer from the customer. Now, if you have a look at the screen here, I'll show you what I've got. So this is our version. We call it Superline. Now, this is a registered trademark that we came up with, and it's our Superline warranty. It is the longest warranty available for any line marking project anywhere on the planet, you cannot get a longer warranty. And the reason being is because this is renewable every 12 months. Now, the way we do it, we'd come out, and this is an example of one of our quotations. I appreciate we've blurred out a couple of the little prices on here, but we'd come out, we'd do your project for you for a fixed price. And then what we do is we plan to come out every 12 months, and we know that there's going to be some areas that are going to have really high traffic and they're going to need a little bit more work. They're going to be, needing a bit of a repair, but it's going to be minor. It's not going to be the whole site. We'd expect those line markings to last between 3 and 5 years in normal circumstances. So we could anticipate if we're doing 20% a year, we're going to do 60% maybe in the 3-year period, and then by 5 years we might redo the whole thing. So a nice easy way to do it is I'd break down whatever the cost is that you've got on here for your project, and I'd say, okay, every year we'll come back out and we're going to redo 20% of your line markings, and we're going to just charge you a monthly fee. Now, in this case, you can see what I've done is I've said to buy your project on this project here, you can't quite see it in yours because it's blurred out, but it's about $3,000. Then as we scroll down here, you'll see that they've got a monthly fee for us to come out. We come out every year, but they pay monthly for this, and we include different things. So for example, with this one, we're going to come out every 12 months. We're going to refresh the faded, the damaged, or worn line markings, keeping them in top condition. And this is exclusive to linemark.com. You can't buy this anywhere else on the planet. Now, there are a few more things to look at with this one. So we've got a whole bunch of terms and bits and pieces with it. But ultimately, what we're looking to do is to secure that revenue from the customer and not phone them up in December and say, hey, by the way, we can redo your parking lot. Got a $500 free that we can come along and do it if you got it. Instead, I'd much rather just guarantee that income and say, don't worry, we got you covered. It's $35 a month or $50 a month, whatever it may be. Over the year, we're getting the same money, sometimes a bit more, but we're going to guarantee we're going to get that money. Now, we're not going to redo the entire job. As I say, I don't think your line marking should need doing every 12 months. Maybe it's a change of product that's needed in the first instance, if that's how quickly they're fading and wearing out. So my take on this is, if you want to get your customer to repeatedly buy from you, tie them into a monthly contract. I would go monthly over quarterly or annually, because we want to break it down into really, really small amounts, really manageable, really easy. And we want to get that money up front. You don't want to wait 12 months to get paid again. I want money today. So yes, I'm going to have bills in 12 months time, and I'm going to want to buy things then, whenever it is. But I want that money guaranteed. I want it coming in today. And I also want to build the value of my business. And so the easiest way to do that is I have a subscription, which boosts the value from one-off sales to now include monthly retainers as well, where we come out, we do the service every year. The customer gets the benefit of lower pricing, or maybe not lower pricing, but lower monthly pricing, should I say, because ultimately they're going to pay the same price over 5 years, say, but they're going to be able to spread it out. Whereas the first time we do it, we want the money up front. So when I come do your job day one, I want paid. But I'm going to come back in 12 months and I'll have been paid before I even get there. That's the goal, really. So if you guys are wondering how you can build a model, like a subscription model within your line marking business, absolutely doable. It's literally what we do at linemark.com. I think you could probably copy this, come up with your own version, call it something different, call it, whatever you want to call your own thing. And the other thing I would also talk about is upselling, because upselling is a huge part of your revenue stream. In fact, it should be a huge part of your revenue stream. Everybody I talk to doesn't, they don't seem to appreciate how it could be. So for example, we've got our basic price, about $3,000 right here. We then add our super line. In this case, it's like $50 a month. So we're talking another $600 a year for 5 years. On top of that, we then charge, for example, pick your hours. So you tell us when you want it completed. We'll be completely flexible around you, but if you want it Monday to Friday, it's completely free of charge. But if you want a premium time, i.e. a bank holiday, a weekend, a night shift, something like that, you've got to pay. And again, we charge like $1,000 to come out and do a shift like that. We then go one step further. So we've got an upsell for our warranty service. We've got an upsell for the working hours we do. We have another upsell as well, which is also the product. And this is where I would say you maybe want to talk about different products. So I know Sherwin-Williams, for example, probably sell the most paint, or at least the paint that most people would use. And it would be like an acrylic or a water-based, something like that. Moving to an MMA is so much more durable, easily sprays through your machines. And so what we do, this is actually, this is a live project, for example, for somebody else. So, we've covered up the name and bits and pieces on here, but we've got a couple of different options. So we offer a thermoplastic or an acrylic. Now, thermoplastic's really, really big here in the UK. Acrylic is kind of getting there, but that's what we see a lot more in throughout Europe. In fact, the US and Australia, acrylics are really, really quite big as well. They're just easy. They're the solvent-borne paint. So if you're going to Sherwin-Williams, somewhere like that, that's the kind of products that you're going to see off the shelf that a lot of people use. But we sell an MMA. An MMA is a 2-component product. It is more money, but it's retro-reflective, and it is also super durable. And so what we do is we talk to our customers not about which paint do you want, but how durable do you want your lines to be? Do you want your lines to last between 1 and 3 years, or between 3 and 5 years? And there's a cost associated with that. We charge around 15 to 20% based on the size of the project, the products, etc., etc. But yeah, somewhere between 15 and 20% extra is what we charge for these sort of things. So it's a nice, easy upsell again. So when you're looking at your line marketing business and you say, okay, the job is only $500, but actually, I'll come out every year and I'm going to just charge you $40 a month on top after you paid the initial. Suddenly, you've earned yourself another $500 off the same job. In addition to that, you can pay for a weekend. You might earn a few $100s for that, or an out of hours. And again, we offer an increase in the quality of the paints, and you can pick 2 or 3 products is a great way to do it. If you've got 3 products, most people will tend to go for the middle. They don't need the super premium, but they don't want to be the budget end either. They kind of want that middle ground. That's a nice way to do it. For us, we've gone and put these 2 together. So thermoplastic and acrylic we've put together. We did have them separate, but the reality is, although thermoplastic's really, really good here, we kind of pick and choose based on the project ourselves because it's easier than letting the customer, and there's no difference in durability on either one. So they often pick one, and then we look at the project and go, actually, that would be the better selection. So we've combined it, but you could easily do 3 on here with a different product as well. So like a hand applicable MMA. But yeah, a nice little upsell. So yeah, as I was saying, looking at how you can increase the value of your sales, how you can build a retention model where you're earning money monthly from your line marketing business, super easy to do. And yeah, hopefully that gives you guys some good insights for your own business. Now look, I'm going to end this episode here. I appreciate we've not had a great deal of time on site, and we are getting toward the end of January 2025 already. We've got loads of other bits planned. Now you will see, as I mentioned earlier, we've got the new YouTube channel. I'm going to show you that super quick because it's relevant. We've got a lot of training for line marketing. We help a lot of other companies grow their line marketing businesses, but actually we've changed it. We've reduced the price and separated things out because I get questions from people on a whole range of topics, like how do I get new sales? What should I do with branding? How do I, what do I want to launch my next product, for example? And it's not even just online marketing. I get questions from all sorts of different businesses and industries. And so that's kind of what this is. The idea is I wanted to be able to showcase with people building a business and how we do it from scratch. So we've actually got 4 companies we're about to launch, and I'm going to literally launch them from scratch and then show you everything we're doing to build those companies into a profitable business within 90 days and all for under $10,000. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We've got quite a few things planned for that. So yeah, under 10 grand. And in 90 days, we're going to make them profitable. And then hopefully you guys can follow along if you decide you want to do one yourself. One of them is going to be a line striping business. So I'm looking forward to launching that one and showing you guys how we're going to build a completely different business to linemark.com. Different industry, different service line. So although it's the same industry, it's unrelated in that respect, and it is going to be a whole standalone new business on its own. There is a whole load of free content on here for you guys. So if you want to find out more about getting sales in the door, some branding, launching new products, and identifying your opportunities, you've got some free content there. I've also put together a little scorecard so you guys can find out where things might be beneficial for you, where you are in your current business. And I've also then put together a whole load of other stuff. So I've put a daily email out. Now the daily email, currently it'll take about 20 days, 21 days. But I'm going to send a daily email out that just gives you some pointers on how you can grow your business, whether it's a line marketing company or whether it's, a mum and pop shop. It could be whatever you want. You could be making cookies. The point is it will still provide you some great, valuable insight on how we build these companies and what we do. There is also some premium training on there as well. So if you wanted to know about setting your prices, that is something that we come across so often when people are worried about how to set your prices, how to price a new job, how to stay competitive, but also get as much money. Because I think a common theme is people think, oh, well, I know so-and-so charges X, I'm just going to charge $1 less and then I'll win the work. But honestly, it's a crazy, crazy plan. That's just like straight to the bottom. What's the point? So it's a huge one is to, how to set your prices. Also, identifying your niche. Now, you may have already picked your niche. For example, you may have picked line striping, but actually in the new line striping company that we're setting up, you'll see that we have really narrowed that down, because at linemark.com, we thought we'd set our niche by going off highway. Actually, we've missed the boat completely, and there is another niche that we've now identified that is so much bigger and better than what we were doing, but it's taken time to realize what that was. So we then put together a whole training pack on how to really identify your niche. Same with the line marketing expert, literally how to run your line marketing business. And there's a whole load on here. Now, everything we put together, there's some video content, there is some text-based content, there's always some handouts for you guys to take away and follow along with. I've just finished filming everything for the business plan one. So if you click on this one, for example, what I've done is I have put you a free little episode in here so you can see what it looks like behind the scenes. So you can see that, yeah, there's text-based stuff, but there's also videos for everything. But we're still filming a lot of stuff for the other content. So it's going to be, it's going to be a bit of a process, maybe 2 or 3 months before we've got the rest of this content filmed for the videos for each of these sessions. But by all means, help yourself. You can get all of them on here. And we've got a couple of free ones on there as well. I've bundled everything together as well, so you have got access to our entire content as well if you want it. But look, this isn't really a plug for buying, services and content from us. I just wanted to sort of introduce it to you guys, and for now you can just get the free email. You don't have to buy anything, and there's no expectation on my part for anybody to buy anything. So get the free stuff, I would start with, and then decide what you think from there. Anyway, look, that's it from me. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. We're probably not going to get another video out this month. I'm hoping to get one out in February, first week for you guys. And of course, reintroduce you to our very first business startup that we're doing as well. I'll share all the details of that in the next one as soon as we're ready to. I look forward to seeing you guys there. Take care for now. Thanks. Bye.